So Joe Biden had his first press conference today, right? His first press conference. And he talked about a lot of things. Well, he tried to talk about a lot of things. And this was really interesting. So I've broken this down into chunks, into different groups, into different topics. And you know what's interesting is that it was a bunch of malarkey. Indeed it was. And I suffer through this so you don't have to. Okay, let's get to it. So I want to start out with the migrant crisis, as they like to call it, which is, you know, basically the kids in cages. They call them migrants, but they're actually refugees. So there are several things that he said here, and let's try and go through them. Okay, so pay attention to the way the reporter asks this question. Okay, just pay attention to the question and how they're just slobbering, they're salivating, over him. So let's do this. Okay.
Right now, this is. You've said over and over again that immigrants shouldn't come to this country right now. This isn't the time to come. That message is not being received. Instead, the perception of you that got you elected as a moral, decent man is the reason why a lot of immigrants are coming to this country and entrusting you with unaccompanied minors. How do you resolve that tension? And how are you choosing which families can stay and which can go, given the fact that even though with Title 42, there are some families that are staying? And is there a timeline for when we won't be seeing these overcrowded facilities run by CPB when it comes to unaccompanied minors?
Well, look, I guess I should be flattered. People are coming because I'm the nice guy. That's the reason why it's happening. That I'm a decent man, or however it's phrased. That's why they're coming, because Biden's a good guy. Truth of the matter is, nothing has changed. As many people came, 28% increase in children to the border in my administration, 31% in the last year in 2019, before the pandemic, in the Trump administration. It happens every single solitary year. There is a significant increase in the number of people coming to the border in the winter months of January, February, March. It happens every year. In addition to that, there is and by the way, does anybody suggest that there was a 31% increase under Trump because he was a nice guy?
He caught himself. He caught himself in his own bullshit, right? Look, they're coming because I'm a nice guy. Oh, wait, there was a 31% increase under Trump. Does that mean he's a nice guy too? Oh, no, I can't say that. So I'm going to backtrack it now. Did you see how they asked that? You know, people are coming because you're a decent man, right? You, Mr. Joe Biden, the rapist, the guy who tried to cut Social Security innumerable times. You know, the guy who started the war in Iraq. Yes, you, the decent man. This is why people are sending their kids to you. Not because you destroyed their countries, right? You and your cronies. No, it's because you're a decent man. Oh, I'm flattered. And he, throughout the conference, I'm sure he said it at least 2 or 3 times. Again, right? Like I'm a nice guy. What are you, Trump? I'm a nice guy. Everybody likes me. They know who I am. Oh, it's horrible. The entire press conference was like this, huh? Asking him these softballs. So, and then of course the real Biden comes out. The real Biden. You know which Biden I'm talking about. The send them back Biden. The working with segregation is Biden, right? So mask off, okay? And I'm just skipping ahead 1 minute, huh? This is just about roughly 1 minute. This ring is so obnoxious. Unity. Oh God, I hate this administration. Take a look at this, all right?
If you take a look at the number of people who are coming, the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of people coming to the border and crossing are being sent back. Thousands, tens of thousands of people who are over 18 years of age and single people, one at a time coming, have been sent back, sent home. We're sending back the vast majority of the families that are coming. We're trying to work out now with Mexico their willingness to take more of those families back. But that's what's happening. They're not getting across the border. And those who are coming across the border who are unaccompanied.
Yo. He's like, what are you complaining about? We're sending those brown people back. Shut up already. What are you complaining about? The families were sending them back. The single people were sending them back. Why are you complaining? Holy shit. How many times did he say it? He's proud of that? He's bragging that he's tough on immigration? Hold on a second. I thought you're supposed to I thought the Democrats are supposed to be the nice guys. You just said a minute ago you're a nice guy. Why are you sending all these people back, Joe? Oh no. Oh no. Are you a piece of shit? Oh, it's stinky. Oh no. Hey, hold on. We're not done, huh? So, I mean, yesterday we covered the fact that they're not letting journalists in, right? So the Biden administration, because they know how horrendous the conditions are inside of these migrant overflow facilities, the detention camps, they're not letting reporters in, okay? Like, I'm not exaggerating, just you're barred, no reporters. So he was asked about it, okay? Now take a look at what he says, all right?
Do you think it's possible that
We will leave. The question is.
Oh, excuse me. I was a bit too early. Let me advance over here.
How soon will journalists be able to have access to the facilities? We've obviously been allowed to be inside one, but we haven't seen the facilities in which children are packed together to really give the American people a chance to see that. Will you commit to transparency on this issue?
I will commit to transparency. And as soon as I am in a position to be able to implement what we're doing right now, and one of the reasons I haven't gone down, all my chief folks have gone down, is I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to be, bringing all the Secret Service and everybody with me to get in the way. So this is being set up.
Listen, you don't understand. You don't understand. Joe Biden is a decent man. He's too popular. He doesn't want to distract you from your duties, okay? If he goes down there, you got the Secret Service. He doesn't want to distract you, okay? So he's not going to actually visit, the peasants that are locked in the cages. No, come on. He doesn't distract anyone, right? He's so modest. Oh my God, how modest, right? You have 15,000 children locked up. Tens of thousands more adults. No, he's too modest. He can't go down there. After all, why would he go down there? It's not a crisis. They refuse to refer to it as a crisis. Why would Joe Biden go down there, right? God, they're so horrendous, these people. They really are.
Responsibility for everything that's happening.
Doing right now. And one of the reasons I haven't gone down, all my chief folks have gone down, is I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to be, bringing all the Secret Service and everybody with me to get in the way. So this is being set up, and you'll have full access to everything once we get this thing moving.
Okay, just to be clear, how soon will that be, Mr. President?
I don't know, to be clear.
Do you bear responsibility for everything that's happening at the border now? I hear you talking a lot about the past administration. You decided to roll back some of those.
Did you see that? So first of all, he won't answer the question, right? It's just a bunch of jargon. It's just nonsense. It's platitudes, right? Yeah, I'm gonna give you a response, on that rundown when we have like a timeline thing and we get our people in, and we'll have some developments for you as soon as they come in. And what the fuck are you saying, asshole? Give a date, time. What is wrong with you? No, he won't answer it. And she's like, just to be clear, when is that? Yeah, I can't tell you right now. She just lets him go. And then to be fair, she does ask him, like, do you bear any responsibility for what's going on there, right? Because you keep blaming Trump. That's what they're doing the whole time. They're just talking about Trump. No, you're in charge now. That's why you ran. Didn't you run for president so that you are in control now? To get rid of Trump? I thought you're the man now. You are the president. Don't tell me about Trump. What are you doing? You're in the White House. You. And he laughs. Did you see how he scoffed? He scoffed at her. Unbelievable.
In addition to that, there is a
So another thing that was absolutely amazing to me is and I can't remember the timestamp for this. You'll forgive me because it's a bit over an hour long. So he was also laughing at another journalist asking about this, and I want to point you to his response about why people are coming there, right? Because once again, they call them migrants, and they try to portray it as, oh, these people are irresponsible, like, you know, they're just traveling thousands of miles and, you know, risking their lives for fun, and being locked up in these appalling conditions for fun. So listen to the response that he gives about why they're coming there, right? I think it's very interesting.
in addition to that,
Right.
I'm not going to do it. That's why I've asked the Vice President of the United States yesterday to be the lead person on dealing with focusing on the fundamental reasons why people leave Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador in the first place. It's because of earthquakes, floods. It's because of lack of food. It's because of gang violence. It's because of a whole range of things that when I was vice president had the same obligation to deal with unaccompanied children.
What?
I was able.
Did he really say that? He said it's because of earthquakes, floods, and it's just natural disasters? Come on, Joe. You know better than that. You know. What have you and your friends been doing for the last couple of decades? Huh? You and your neoliberal friends, what kind of policies have you been implementing? What have you been doing in Latin America, in Central America? You've been sending a Peace Corps there, or you've been sending the CIA to coup other countries, to install military right-wing dictatorships? Huh? Who's responsible for a lot of this gang violence? Who pushed the war on drugs? Who wrote the crime bill? That was you. That was Joe Biden. And now he's acting like, oh, it's, you know, dude, it's just like these tectonic plates. They keep shifting. And now we have just 15,000 children that are like in our cages. I don't know how this happened. I have no clue. You motherfucker. Unbelievable. And he just goes on for several minutes, right? Yeah, and, you know, he just never answers a question properly. It's unbelievable. Again, he's the president of the United States. You can't become the president if you're not a professional liar. It doesn't work that way. This is truly extraordinary. Hold on, let me just play you what else he says. All right.
to change the light type of lighting. We paid directly to the contractor, did not go through the government. And violence because of gang violence. It's because of a whole range of things that when I was vice president had the same obligation to deal with unaccompanied children. I was able to get it slowed up significantly by working with the heads of state of those communities to do things like in one of the major cities, the reason people were leaving is they couldn't walk the street because their kids were getting beat up or shot or gang violence.
Okay, yeah, you know what else I remember, Joe, from when you were vice president? I remember that you and Obama, you deported around 3 million Hispanics and Latinos. You deported them out of the United States, right? Obama, the deporter in chief. Because this is what's interesting about Joe Biden. You know, he loves bragging and blowing smoke up his own ass about things that he accomplished allegedly as vice president, but he never takes responsibility for the shit that took place when he was vice president. And it's sort of a weird double standard there. I mean, if you're telling me that you were able to do things as vice president, right? That you have responsibility in that role, and you took good care of that role, and you fulfilled your obligation in your oath to office. Well, then you also have to own the shit that took place when you were vice president, and he never does he? Right? He's always blaming other people. So that's weird that he doesn't mention how many millions that were deported when he was vice president, right? And not to mention the Muslim ban. Again, I think to this day, a lot of people don't understand this so-called Muslim ban that Trump wrote up. He was building on top of what Biden and Obama did, Okay, just so we're clear, right? So that was an extension of what they did. That's not Trump didn't come up with that out of nowhere. Okay, and again, as with everything, what Biden is doing now, right? He's not even just going back to how it was when you know he was vice president, as he loves to brag about. Sure, he did with that, but he's not removing the initial law. And with everything else, he's keeping what Trump did in regards to Iran. You know, they still haven't entered JCPOA, Abraham Accords, bombing Syria, you know, staying in Afghanistan. Actually, that's even worse than Trump, which we'll get to in a second. And you know, he's just taking a lot of the shit that Trump did and running with it because they know that they can get away with it. So, and another thing that he says, right? Pay attention to this one, because he says that he's been so good to children when he was vice president. Okay. Yeah, here we go.
A bipartisan plan of over $700 million to do with the root causes of why people are leaving. What did Trump do? He eliminated that funding. He didn't use it. He didn't do it. And in addition to that, what he did, he dismantled all the elements that exist to deal with what had been a problem and has been continued to be a problem for a long time. He, in fact, shut down the number.
You'll excuse me. I'll have to fast forward to the very point that I wanted to play. I think it was over here, right? 49. Okay.
In place, what was dismantled, as I said. For example, of all the children who are coming across the border, over 70% are either 16 or 17 years old. We're not talking about people ripping babies from mothers' arms or little 3-year-olds standing on the border. Less than, I think it's 1.5%. fall in the category of the very young. So what we're doing is we're providing for the space again to...
No. You see how he's trying to deflect? Do you see how he's trying to deflect? He's trying to make it about the age now. Dude, I don't care if they're 3 or 30 or 70 years old. Look at those pictures. We looked at those pictures. No one should be in those conditions. Do you understand? What are you doing putting people in office containers? Huh? They say that, look, because of COVID, they can't let the journalists in to take photographs, which is such bullshit. Why? Look, man, I have a solution. Let me fly in a drone. Is that okay for you? A drone is not going to get sick. We can, you know, disinfect, wipe them down, and just fly in a drone and take the pictures. Is that okay for you? So they're making this excuse that, oh, we can't let the journalists in. No, you can't go inside. You can't go in. It's COVID. And then at the same time, they're putting all of these people cramped together. And the infection rates are much higher in there. So you're going to tell me now that because they're not 3 years old and it's not about babies being yanked from their mother's arms, that now the conditions are okay? No, the conditions are not okay, regardless what the age of the detainees happens to be. Okay? Again, whether they're 3 or 30 or 16 or 17, what are you doing? Right? I don't understand this. If you have nothing to hide, you would let reporters in. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. I don't understand how, again, he's going to do this here. And this is, you'll hear this all the time that, oh, look, China's locking up all these Uyghur Muslims. Again, I have no clue why the U.S. suddenly cares about Muslims. They spend half their time killing them. And so, you know, they're putting them in these camps. Okay, so if you care about human rights so much, what is this? We saw those pictures. Do I need to pull them up again? I think I should, because you know, that was horrendous. So, you know, they're also reopening the very same facilities that Trump was using, like the one in Carrizo, Texas, right? I mean, this is horrible. Just give me a second so I can pull this up for you. Okay. So my point here again is that this is not about the age. He's trying to deflect because he's caught. He's been caught. That is horrible. People on the floor sleeping with these aluminum blankets. I know Americans say aluminum. What is that? Like, this looks just like under Trump. They just replaced the fences, right? They just replaced the fences with plastic sheets. And honestly, it looks like it's even, honestly, for airflow, isn't that probably worse? That's probably worse. And if you're telling me that because of a pandemic, you can't let journalists in, how is restricting airflow doing any good for infection rates? Again, I'm not a doctor, but I would assume that that's not very good, right? One of the first breakthroughs in medicine was realizing, oh shit, when we're operating or when we're in a hospital, we should open the fucking windows because we can let some air in, right? Get rid of the germs. No. It's COVID when it suits them, and it's now he's trying to say it's about the age. Oh my god. So just to show you some other softballs, I'm looking through my notes, right? Because there's a lot of things here. Just to show you some of the other softballs that they were throwing him. So you saw the first one about, they're coming because you're such a decent man, right? All of these people, they're coming to the United States because Joe Biden is a decent man. And another moment that was absolutely hilarious, where again they're trying to like portray him as better than Trump. Take a look at this.
Outside this White House, I'm not talking about the elected officials. I'm talking about voters. And so I'm convinced that we'll be able to stop this because it is the most pernicious thing. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle. I mean, this is gigantic, what they're trying to do. And it cannot be sustained. And do everything in my power, along with my friends in the House.
Okay, I have to fast forward a bit because he's answering the previous question. Here we are.
Bipartisanship. Your old friend, Mitch McConnell, says you have only spoken to each other once since you took office, and that you have moved far left since taking office. Do you see it the same way he does? Have you rejected bipartisanship?
No, I haven't at all. I've been meeting. When's the last time a president invited the opposite party down at least a half a dozen?
Far left. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. You know what far left is in the United States? Center right. That's what far left means. What an what is that? What kind of fucked up political spectrum are you using? God almighty. It was horrible the entire time. And by the way, not just here, the ones that were present at the conference, also on Twitter, they were, oh my God, he's doing so good. Biden is knocking it out of the park, some guy and NBC was saying, right? This is, I mean, I really want you to understand how not just the Biden administration, but the journalists are giving him softball questions. And, they're sort of pressing him like, are you going to give us access to the facility? Do you know when that is? Okay. And then they just drop it. They're not really asking him tough questions, right? Do you sense the same energy as when Trump was in the room? Be honest. Be honest. They were very confrontational, right, with Trump. Okay, so can we have that now? Because they're doing the same shit. They're doing the same thing. They're putting thousands of refugees that are fleeing imperialist policies, and they're locking them up in these appalling conditions. It's the same shit, right? And saying that the age is different does not make it okay. You're not even letting journalists in. Even Trump let fucking journalists in, right? I think at first he tried to stop it, and then at one point he cracked, and he let him in, and then you saw what happened. It became a phrase: kids in cages. So he knows that what he's doing is wrong, and the media are helping him. Again, not all of them, right? John Moore, for example, that photojournalist who wrote that article in the Washington Post, I felt that was good, right? He was pointing out how every administration has let him go in and photograph, and that this time he had to go to the other side of the border. He had to take photographs of the United States from Mexico, right? So there is some pushback, but it's nowhere near as good as Trump, right? When Trump was in power, they're saying he's a fascist. He's literally Hitler 2.0. Well, if they're behaving the same and you're using different language now to describe him, it's a bit weird, right? Bit odd.